Hi, class. So, your first discussion posts have been graded, and I know that some of you are a little bit perplexed as to the grade you received. And so, using two examples of students who have submitted work this semester for the grade that was made available yesterday, I wanted to show you examples of students who got the full grade for the discussions. Now, bearing in mind, I shared with you more than once that I go by the grading rubric. So, in order to prepare any response for this class, you need to stick closely to the grading rubric. So, the first thing I have here was a post made by Maribel, and Maribel responded to appear, right? So remember now, you can get up to 6 points for response to appear. The response must be substantive. You must indicate to whom you're responding. You must be specific in what you like or dislike about the post, and you must give supporting examples. Textual references are great here as well. Um, but these are things that go into making a strong post in response to your peer. So let's take a look at different components to Maribel's post. Maribel says, "Hello, I actually agree," and she tells with whom she agrees, right? And I notice here that Maribel agrees with two persons, so you don't have to do that. Agreeing with one person is sufficient. So look at what she does next. She next tells us what the person states to which she agrees. Then she tells about chapter 1, page 12 in the textbook. So she's saying to her peer, not only do I agree with you, but if I go through the text also agrees with you. Then she doesn't stop there. She tells how the text agrees, and then she goes on to give her own perspective. So we know that this is not something fabricated. This is not something that she just cut and paste online. But we're hearing her feelings, her thoughts coming into play, right? And then she wraps up. So as you can see, this is what I expect to be a complete response to your peer. Anything less than this, and you can imagine that you would not have earned the full points. Also remember that your two posts cannot be on the same day, or it still counts as only one post. Now let's take a look at Daisy. Now Daisy is addressing the initial post. First of all, I want to point out that if you look at the date of Daisy's first post, her post was before the Sunday deadline. So for this, she automatically got 5 points just for posting. So here, I'm not even looking at content. What I'm looking at is the date of the post. So she automatically got 5 points for this. Then as you read her post, you will see that there's little to no grammatical or spelling error. So again, she got the full points for little to no grammatical spelling error. Now look at the crux of the post. The question was a 4-part question. Daisy did exactly what I'm looking for. She restated each part of the question, and she responded to each part of the question. Not only did she respond to each part of the question, but to each part of the question she responded to, she tells us where in the text we can find the material. So you see here, what is sociology? Giddens et al., page 11. Is sociology considered a scientific discipline, and why? Tells us the page number. Why is it important to study sociology? Giddens et al., page 26. So now I can actually go to Giddens et al. And I can read it for myself to say, oh, okay, I understand where Daisy is coming from. Not only does she give us, so if you make a post with absolutely no textual reference, you can certainly not expect to get the full points. I need to know that you're reading the textbook. And the only way I can know that if you're reading the textbook is when I see you make direct reference to the textbook. So a post is not complete without direct textual references. Now let's take a look. Daisy wasn't skimpy in her response. Her response was full-bodied. So Daisy gave me something that I could read and I could respond to. You will notice for every one of her responses, she gave examples. And examples tend to lend body to your post. Not only does an example tend to lend body to your post, but if I was reading your post and I didn't quite understand what you were trying to say, you give me an example. The moment you give me an example, I'm able to relate what you're saying. So for those of you who did not get the full 20 points this week for the discussion, I want you to take a careful look and review this video as much times as you want, because I want you to take a careful look as to what I consider a complete response. If your response comes nowhere close to this, then you know why you did not get the full points. If your response came close to this and you don't understand, then please reach out to me during my office hours, which is on Mondays. All right? And the office hours are held on Blackboard. So you just come onto Blackboard and I'll be here. And we'll wait for you if you have questions specifically about your grades. Other than that, this is exactly what I'm looking for a discussion post. All right, guys. Thank you, and best wishes for next week, with the hope that next week, following the grading rubric, following the example that I just went over, that we all will get 20 or the full points for the discussions. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.